大型坦克还有各种枪炮弹药全都收归俄罗斯军方所有。瓦格纳集团在兵变失败之后，势力虽然有明显削弱，但却没有遭到全面的秋后算账。
One of the challenges that the Russian government has is that you don't build up an organization like Wagner overnight. So if they do plan to liquidate the whole organization, which I'm skeptical of, it would be a very costly, cumbersome process that I'm not sure the Russian state wants to take on right now.
瓦格纳就是典型的佣兵集团，也就是付钱办事的形式。不只是俄罗斯的打手，在非洲地区也能看到他们的踪影，换取一些惊人的利益。
So the big countries where they're operating today are Mali and Central African Republic. They also operate in Libya and Sudan, but those are kind of smaller deployments in diamonds, gold, forestry, coffee, and alcohol, and probably other sectors that we don't know about yet.
尤其瓦格纳与普京政府之间更有千丝万缕。俄罗斯借由瓦格纳伸手拓展势力，也是公开的秘密。
Wagner Group will get involved in these countries at the same time that the Russian state is involved in large kind of military assistance programs. Often they kind of get into these side operations that are more building their own business. So basically a lot of resource extraction projects, which is often how they finance themselves or how they kind of make economic agreements with the state in order to stay in these countries.
瓦格纳还能帮普京政府获得俄罗斯难以取得的珍贵资源。
The resources that they generally go after are precious metals. That's the biggest one because it's relatively easy to export and relatively easy to smuggle. We can surmise that a lot of it is in fact going back to the Russian state. So in that way, it's helping the Russian state at a time where their precious metal reserves are incredibly low.
因此，瓦格纳就能在俄罗斯的庇护之下，借由空壳公司获取难以想象的大笔资金。
It's in the millions and billions of dollars, definitely moving towards the billions. The issue is that it's very hard to kind of get an exact idea just because of the illicit channels that Wagner is using in order to export things, and also the sheer number of shell companies that they use. Because not only do they change their names in the businesses that they're running, but all of the companies that they then export out of also have shell names, and then they use a variety of middle traders.
原本互利互惠的关系，却因为俄乌战火打破原有的平衡。尤其本来就对瓦格纳不满的俄罗斯军方插手，掀起这一次的兵变事件。普京甚至直言，瓦格纳已经不存在。
And I think that's part of the reason why the regular Russian military finally said to Wagner, okay, enough. Your fighters are going to have to sign contracts with us because they weren't as dependent on Wagner today as they were a year ago.
但碍于各种利益纠葛，普京大手只能高高举起，又轻轻放下。尽管台面上没有瓦格纳集团，但专家认为，各种类型的佣兵集团还会继续接受这些为钱而战的成员。情况恐怕只是换汤不换药。
You're going to have a scenario where you see a lot more of these groups popping up that look like Wagner. They could be state-sponsored, they could not be. But sort of the expansion of the mercenary phenomenon on the African continent could be very problematic because they tend to commit a lot of human rights violations.
专家也认为，这次兵变看上去是普京掌握全局，快速化解危机，但长期看来对政权已经造成打击。
Putin is scheduled to face a presidential election in March of 2024. That's only a few months from now. And I'm relatively certain that at least some Russian elites are wondering whether he is the horse to back in that election campaign or not. I think a lot of this is going to depend on what happens in the battlefield.
但显然，现在就是两败俱伤、游走在灰色地带的佣兵集团。虽然利益至上，但牵扯到政治角力，就有可能推出来作为代罪羔羊，成为最后的牺牲品。TVBS 新闻综合报道。
想看最完整的新闻内容，记得下载 TVBS 新闻网 APP。